Chapter 7. How to write the results. Now we come to the key part of the paper, the results section. Usually, some authors, particularly beginners, thought the results section should start by describing materials and methods they carelessly forgot to mention when they wrote the paper previously. In fact, you should not do like this. What are the core elements in the results section? First, overall description of the experiments should be presented. It is just the big picture, and you cannot repeat the details of the experiments mentioned previously in the section of materials and methods. Second, the data should be provided. The past tense should be used here. I will focus on discussing the way to present the data. You know, the data come from your noting about laboratory experiments. In writing, you cannot simply transfer the data in your experiment report notebook to your manuscript, because this kind of direct transfer of data is meaningless. The editor needs representative data instead of constantly repetitive data so as to convince him or her. Maybe you will claim that during your process of research, you could experience numerous experiments without obvious and significant discrepancies in results, and even with many failures. But your professors or mentors might still encourage you and inspire you to do the experiments. So, we can see the difference between your mentors and editors. The latter prefer clear and accurate results with pre-digestion. You cannot expect to include all the information into the results section without leaving anything. Even if you put everything together, it cannot prove you are equipped with wide range of knowledge. Instead, you will impress the editor that you have no ability to distinguish and discriminate information. I have to emphasize that if you are smart, you should know how to choose useful and representative information and data in the results section. Think well before you act. In this section, you have to know how to deal with numbers. That is to say, you should know how to present the number by text, table, or graphs. According to my research, if one or only a few determinations need to be presented, you'd better describe them in a text. If determinations should be repeated, tables or graphs could be the best choice. Remember, any determinations shown in this section should be meaningful and evident. What are the determinations? It is known that in a particular group of your experiments, you tested a number of variables. Of course, one variable was tested at a time. The variables producing effects on the reaction are determinations or data. If these determinations or data change with a wide range, tablets or graphs are really needed so as to help the editor or readers to witness the tendency. In contrast, there is no need to present those variables failing to affect the reaction in the form of tablets or graphs. Another skill could also be available. You could try to define the experimental conditions under which you did get the quite different results. This, to a large extent, helps justify the results you presented in this section. In the previous chapter, I mentioned that data should be likely presented rather than the statistics. But if statistics are really needed to describe the results, they should be meaningful statistics. I will give you the example. 1/3 of the mice experimented were cured by the test drug. 1/3 of the subjects were unaffected by the drug and remained in a dying condition. The third mice died. Do you think this description of statistics is meaningful?